Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to Scale Model Kit Review. In this video, I continue to build the Eaglemoss Aston Martin DB5. I am on issue 21. Now in issue 21, I am on stage 81. Now stage 81, I'm going to split it up into two parts. So right now is part 1. So if you haven't done so already, head over to eaglemoss.com and subscribe to this car today. It's a fantastic build and I'm having a blast building this. So let's get started.
James Bond.
Welcome back. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 81. If you haven't done so already, head over to eaglemoss.com and subscribe to this car today. Who knows how long it'll be around, so get it while you can. Anyway, and here's the instructions for stage 81, and we finally received the main body frame where we can start putting all the components on this car and get it finally assembled all together here. Now for this stage, I'm going to do two parts. I'm going to do a part 1 and a part 2, obviously. So part 1 will consist of the dash and steering wheel, the floor panel, and the speaker and dashboard. Then part 2 will consist of the front wheels. We have a lot to do there. So let's get a closer look at what we're going to be doing in part 1. And obviously you can see here we receive the main body frame finally, and we're going to start putting everything on it. And then the dash panel itself, we're going to install the steering wheel onto the dash panel. And everything that we're going to need for this is the complete floor section, the front wheels, springs, suspension components, dash and steering wheel, and the speaker assembly. Here's what we do as we install the floor panel onto the main body frame. And here's the steps for assembling the speaker and dashboard. And we'll look at part 2 when we do that video. So let me get the parts out and I'll be right back. And here's the parts pack for stage 81, and you can see it's pretty large here. This is the main body frame. We finally get it, and now we can start assembling everything on it. So give me a second, I'll pull everything out. Make sure that when you take everything out, you get all the screw bags that are in here. There's quite a few bags full of screws. I'll be right back. And here's a close-up of the parts contained within the bag. And as far as the screws go, I had to look at my screw chart to find out what the screws are themselves. So we received A screws, G screws, V screws, and C screws. And of course, let's look at the main body frame itself. Protected here with some styrofoam on the ends. I'll pull those off. Very impressive though. And you can see this would be the front end of the frame where it's all painted black for the engine compartment. And side view. Wheel wells painted black. That's what it looks like from underneath. And everything for this car is going to mount on this. That's how that looks. The back end. There you go. So let's get started. Alright, the first step for stage 81 is we got to install the steering column and steering wheel to the dash. Now this actually goes in behind the dash here. Now earlier we had assembled this back piece here, and it's going to have to be taken off so we can get the steering column installed. So I'm going to, the screw is located here, just one screw holding it in. Take that out and should be able to pull that piece out aside for now temporarily. Now we can install our steering wheel column, and that slides down. Just like that. A pretty tight fit. There we go. There we go. And that's on there now. And we have to put two B-type screws into this. And that's what I'm finding out in these later stages. We have to take some stuff apart and then put it back together again. But it's no big deal. Makes it a lot of fun still to build this. And everything that you build from now on is pretty critical. The tolerances, everything going on the frame, you want to get it just right, or something may not seat right and then it'll throw everything else off. Okay, so two screws are tight now. We're good to go there. That's how that looks. Now let's put that panel back in. Make sure my wiring is out of the way. I'll slide that in from underneath. There we go. Like a little puzzle. Yeah. Okay. Then we'll put our screw back in. And that's back in. There we go. Now everything's back together like it was. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Now let's bring over our frame. And we're going to need 4 Q-type screws for this. We're going to get our interior and we're going to mount that now to the frame. Okay. Everything is going into plastic now, And you can see our mounting holes for this. There's 4 of them. There's 2 right here and 2 right there. And they're going to mount right down on the frame. So before I install this into the body frame, I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. The ejection seat on it. Here's the seat itself. It has a locking bracket on the bottom of it there. And it's simply going to slide down in there. Now what actually locks it in place is this rod here. Okay, this rod moves back and forth, and that's what locks it in place. So we'll take the ejection seat and slide it down into it. And we'll make sure the rod do that again. And lock down. And you can see the rod there. It's locking it in place. So I'll go ahead and activate the gear shift, push down on it. There you have it. That's how it works. Okay, we're going to go ahead and install the interior into the body frame. And the interior itself has 4 mounting points, 2 here and 2 over here. Now in order to get it into the body frame, what you need to do is go down at an angle like that into it. Just like that. And it will simply just slide in. Okay. And there we go. Make sure all your wiring is out of the way, which it is. Okay. And this takes 4 Q-type screws. Turn it over. And I'm going to try to support it up with my hand. Let's get that one started. And get this one started here. Very tight tolerances on all this stuff. That one's tight. And that's tight. Turn it around, do the other 2. And continue with these screws here. They have a wide flange on them, helps them stay in place. And one more. there it is. Now the interior is installed. Looks great. Next we install the speaker, and they want us to make sure that the speaker itself is facing the interior of the car and not the engine. So it's going to go on these tabs here. There we go. And it's clipped in all the way. Okay. Next we put the dash in, and it's simply going to slide underneath here. I want to get all our wiring through this as much as possible. It's this is the fun part, obviously. Get everything through here as much as possible. And it goes underneath. There's some tabs underneath this. Let's see if you can see that on the side camera. But slide it forward as much as possible onto those tabs. And there we go, locked in. Your steering column is locked in on this bracket here and the bracket up front, and they're locked down there. Now we can go ahead and put our Y-type screws into this to lock it down. There's one. And two. And there we have it. So that concludes part 1 of stage 81. And I'll be back with part 2. But anyway, we have the dash installed in the interior, and that's how all that looks. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for all notifications. Head over to eaglemoss.com and subscribe to this car today. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.